Have you ever just felt stuck? Wrestling with one of those huge, heavy questions we all ask ourselves. It's a question that can feel so big, so completely overwhelming that honestly, it's easier to just push it aside and not even think about it. Well, today, we're not pushing it aside. We're going to tackle it head on. There it is. The question that can just stop you in your tracks. I mean, we're told from a young age that we have to find our purpose, our one true calling, right? It's like there's this cosmic treasure hunt, and it feels like everyone else got a map except for us. The pressure is just immense. But what if I told you that all that anxiety, all that pressure, that feeling of being totally lost, what if it all comes from asking the wrong question in the first place? In this explainer, we're going to completely dismantle that question and build a much more powerful and, frankly, more useful one in its place. Okay, so let's dig in. Why does that question feel so paralyzing? Well, it's because it's built on this flawed, almost mythical idea of what purpose is even supposed to be. This is the idea that trips us all up, this belief that we have one single, grand, cosmic destiny waiting for us. Author Mark Manson, he calls this shitty logic because it basically implies that if you haven't found this one magical thing yet, you're failing at life. And an idea like that, it doesn't inspire you to do anything. It just freezes you right where you are. So here's the crucial shift in thinking we have to make. Instead of seeing purpose as some mythical destiny you have to find, we need to see it as something practical that you create. It's not about finding a destination on a map. It's about figuring out what's important to you right now and then building a journey around that. And look, this kind of clarity, it doesn't always show up in some flash of divine inspiration. Sometimes it happens in the most ridiculous moments. Coach Caroline Adams, for example, had her big epiphany trapped at her desk late one night. Her boss was messily eating pretzels over her shoulder, and in that absurd, dusty, terrible moment, she realized she'd been thinking about her purpose all wrong. So if that old idea of purpose is a trap, how do we get out of it? Well, the solution isn't about finding a better answer. It's all about asking a much, much better question. This is where most of us get completely stuck. What do I want to do? We start thinking in job titles, in roles, in industries. It's all external, and it limits our entire sense of meaning to what we do for a living, which, as we just saw, can sometimes feel like being buried alive in pretzel dust. And this is the reframe from Caroline Adams that changes everything. Who do I want to be? See, that question is internal. It has nothing to do with a job description. It's about your character, your values, the kind of energy you want to bring into a room. And the best part? It's something you can answer and act on in any moment, no matter what your circumstances are. And just like that, the power is back in your hands. Purpose is no longer this thing you have to search for out there, somewhere in the world. It's something you create from within, moment by moment, day by day. It is not found, it is built. Okay, so we've reframed the question. That's a huge step. But now let's get practical. How do you actually start creating that meaning for yourself? Well, I've pulled together the advice from our sources into a little toolkit with 3 key lenses to help you find some clarity. These 3 lenses, they all work together. First, we're going to look backward to find clues in our own life story. Then we'll look inward to figure out what we're actually willing to struggle for. And finally, we'll look forward and focus on how to take meaningful action. First up, look to your past. Your history is literally full of clues. As author Dan Cumberland puts it, meaning is thematic. So, what did you love to do when you were a kid before anyone told you to be practical? What activities, as Mark Manson hilariously asks, get you so absorbed that you literally forget to eat or even go to the bathroom? Look for those patterns in your life. The threads of what you truly value, they're already there. This brings us to a brutally honest but incredibly useful concept from Mark Manson, the shit sandwich principle. The reality is every single path in life, even the one you love, comes with its own set of problems. So the most important question isn't, what do I enjoy? It's, what pain am I willing to sustain? And this is why the struggle you're willing to endure is such a massive clue to your purpose. If you're okay with the 80-hour work weeks of being a lawyer or the constant rejection an artist faces, that's not a flaw. That's your competitive advantage. It's a huge signpost pointing you in the right direction. And finally, the third lens, take action. We have this idea completely backward, that we need to find our passion first and then we'll be motivated. But it's the other way around. Action is what creates passion. You can't just think your way into a purpose. You have to experiment, try stuff, help people, and just see what sticks. Clarity comes from getting engaged with the world, not from sitting around and contemplating it. Lastly, and this is a really vital piece of the puzzle, finding your purpose isn't a one-time thing. It's not like you find it and poof, you're done. It's a lifelong process of evolution. And this isn't just some nice theory, it's how people actually experience life. I mean, this Reddit user just put it perfectly. Purpose isn't static. The person you are at 20 has different values and a different purpose than the person you'll be at 40. And that's not a failure to find your purpose. That is exactly how it's supposed to work. When you look at discussions from all sorts of people who have wrestled with this, a really clear picture starts to form. Purpose isn't something you find. It's something you decide on. You cultivate it, you develop it, it evolves. And you are the one in charge of that evolution. It is a journey of creation. So, if there is one single thing to take away from all of this, let it be this. Stop the stressful, agonizing hunt for a single magical answer. Instead, start seeing purpose as a question that you get to live out every single day.
And that brings us right back to our powerful new question, but with a new sense of urgency. Forget the grand, intimidating scope of your life's purpose. Ask yourself this instead. Who do I want to be today? In your next meeting, your next conversation, your next small project? Answering that small question day after day, that is how a purposeful life is built.